Some Jackson County residents complain the new billion-dollar battery plant under construction there is starting to wear out its welcome before it even opens. The Fox 5i team already revealed how the contractors are flying in workers from overseas rather than using Americans to do much of the basic construction. SK Battery America just announced major changes in light of that investigation. But Fox 5i team reporter Randy Travis says it is where some of those workers are sleeping that has residents troubled.
When neighbors along Glenfiller Circle look out their windows, they see vans loading and unloading a seemingly endless supply of strangers.
These are single-family dwellings, and you're not supposed to move 8, 10, 12 people, however many people they're putting in these places.
They work at SK Battery America in Commerce, a $2.6 billion economic showcase that is expected to eventually create more than 2,000 jobs. That's the reason state and local governments agreed to $300 million in tax breaks and free land, one of the biggest deals ever offered in Georgia. But no one thought to require SK Battery make sure Americans had first crack at actually building the plant. When we watched the job site this month, most of the construction workers seem to be Korean, men who share rental homes in neighborhoods all around the plant. Anybody here speak English? No one speaks English? Jackson County ordinances limit the number of unrelated people living in a home to 4. Neighbors on Glenfiller Circle say they've seen 14 men living in this house. On a rainy Tuesday afternoon, we counted 9 exiting a work van. They told us they don't all live there. So these are your friends just coming for lunch. They don't live here.
Yeah.
So you have how many who actually live here? 5. Nelson and his buddies actually hail from the Federated States of Micronesia, a group of islands whose residents don't need a visa to work in the United States. They needed to get extra workers from Micronesia because they couldn't find any here in the country?
Yeah.
So what is your job exactly?
Labor.
In a written statement, SK Battery America pointed out they have already created more than 1,000 American jobs in the construction phase. The company says it told its contractors from the start to place a priority on hiring local American workers. Micronesia is 7,800 miles from Commerce. Neighbors have called the sheriff's office after one work van drove across someone's yard and to complain about drunken parties and loud music.
I don't have a problem with people, but they need to respect the whole neighborhood, not just in and out what they want to do.
But the questionable accommodation for some of those construction workers isn't only bothering neighbors here. It's also part of a renewed effort to get ICE to launch a comprehensive investigation. This week, Congressman Doug Collins asked ICE and Customs and Border Protection to use every resource to investigate SK and their contractors. Collins pointed to the more than 30 houses rented to support this illegal workforce. His letter also mentioned this. A neighbor in Banks County recorded more than 100 vehicles suddenly driving down a quiet one-lane road toward an abandoned chicken farm. This was in July, about 5 miles from the SK plant. According to his incident report, when the Banks County code enforcement officer checked, a supervisor there said they had set up testing sites for welders to make sure they were qualified to do the work. Collins wrote ICE he's convinced the site was set up to avoid hiring Americans. Over 200 persons, the overwhelming majority of apparent Korean nationality, were being taught to weld. SK Battery said the company has found no information yet that such an operation existed, and any off-site workshops perform welding for the site, not training programs. After Banks County authorities checked on the site, the work ceased. In light of our earlier investigation, SK Battery announced this week, before any worker is allowed on the job site, they must present documentation each day proving they can legally work in this country. No illegal workers are permitted to enter SKBA's site, the company said in a statement. If any contractor is in violation of such policy, SKBA will impose severe sanctions, including possible termination of the contractor. In May, Customs and Border Protection said it stopped 33 Koreans from coming through Hartsfield because they had fake work papers to get jobs at the battery plant. The contractor was not named. In Commerce, Randy Travis, Fox 5 News.